All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. How are you today, guys?
Good, sir.
Okay, good.
Positif.
Good, sir.
Positive. Is it positive or what? Positive vibe or positive? Hmm. Okay.
Hmm.
I mean something like COVID-19. So please be negative, right? Okay. So it's okay. So just joke before we start the class. All right. So before I start, I would like to remind to everyone, please take care of yourself because this is COVID-19 going spark at a certain place, especially in PJ, Klang, and Kedah. So please take care of yourself and your family too, because you are with your family, especially for those who are in the hometown. All right, so today I would like to share with you for this chapter 3. And then this chapter is more something like the evaluating cultural and social environments. So in this chapter, we try to evaluate. Evaluate means we try to do something like a feedback. Okay, feedback about the cultural. Okay, that's the first element, cultural, and then the social environments. So before we start any business, especially for the international level, okay, maybe global. So we must do evaluating, or before we do some research and so on, we must have the evaluating or evaluation in terms of their culture and the social environment. So as we know, before we start, we have the statement from somebody. So today I would like to share with you with the quote or statement from Yang Yuan King, chairman of Lenovo Group, and Mr. Yang Yuan King said, ideally, as an international company, we would like to think of ourselves as having one culture. Okay, they try to think us is we one culture, but a company cannot transcend the cultures of nations. So there are complex differences between East and West, and then we have had to accept and understand these differences. And Americans companies doing business in China must learn about and understand the Chinese culture. And the same applies to the Chinese when they're doing overseas. So normally for us, we try to come out with any business or service in the market. We know about our culture. But if you want to go global or international level, we must know and we must try to understand what are their culture, because if we know and understand about their culture, so easy for us to selling or to promote our product to that culture. So as we know, even in China, they are a very big region and so on. So even the different region, sometimes they have a different culture. Even their dialect also might have a different. They use a lot of things, something like the normal one is Mandarin, but at certain place they use something like Cantonese and then Hokkien and other things. So this is about the culture and the social environment about the in different country, and of course in China, in case they are very different in terms of the regions. Okay, so in this chapter we have the cultural diversity in the era of globalization. So actually this is something like you learn a little bit, okay, under the CCM or cross cultural management. Even you have your own culture, you have your own syllabus subject in the CCM. So we just touch a little bit about the culture. So we try to know what are the definition of the culture, what is culture, and then why it is important to global marketing. And then the next one, we have the concept of national culture. So when we talk about national culture, they have the subculture. And then at the same time, we learn this one, Hofstede 5 dimension. So this is the dimension based on the Hofstede. Hofstede is the percent of the come up with the type of the dimension. So this one you learn more details in international management and also in CCM. So they have the example under Hofstede dimension. And then at the same time, based on the concept of national culture, we have the short value survey. So based on the short value survey, what are these talk about? And then the next concept, we have the globe model. So globe model, they have 8 dimension. Okay, so the next one in this chapter we have the culture and communication. So in terms of the non-verbal communication, for us maybe some of the non-verbal communication they have a different meaning rather than other country. So depends on the country. You must know about this before you going to international level. So they have the examples, and then the next one we have the global customers. So they just give the example, especially for the big what we call it the big market, especially in China and then India, and then global markets and products for developing countries. So these are we trying to learn from this chapter, chapter 3. So we go one by one. We start with the cultural diversity in the era of globalization. So if you look at here, while globalization is a strong force for the spread of ideas around the world, and then there still exists a great deal of cultural diversity among regions and individual countries and even within countries. So if you look at here, just have the number of languages. For example, in India, they have the several hundreds languages they use. Okay, they use Hindi, they use the Tamil, and then Urdu and others language. So that's that case in India. So in United States, they have around 150 to 300 languages, a lot. And then in Philippines, they have at least 170 languages. And then in Russia, they have at least 100 languages. And in Mexico, they have 62 languages. And then in China, they have at least 10 languages. So this is about the language. Okay, so in this certain region, they might use a different language. So you must know before you enter to that region or country, you must know how many languages they use and what are their preferred language they can use. So from here, you may enter for with their culture or with their market, and easy to for you to sell your product or market your products. Okay, that's for the languages. And then the next one, if you look at for the religions, okay, in terms of the religion in India, they have at least 40 religions, a lot. And then South Africa, they have at least 30 religions. And then in Taiwan, they have 25 religions. And then in United States, they have 20 religions. And then in Canada, they have at least 15 religions. And United Kingdom or UK, they have at least 10 religions. So this is a while the globalization is become strong force for us to spread the ideas around the world because of this different. So this is just we focus for the languages and religions. So what about their custom? Okay, sometimes because of their color and so on. So we must know how to enter this one to make sure they can accept our product or service. Okay, and easy for us to get profit from that business. Okay, guys.
Okay.
All right, good. Thank you very much, Muhammad Adib. All right, next. What are the definition of the culture? So if you look at here, okay, actually this one you learn more details in CCM about the culture, the definition of culture. So in this textbook, we have the definition about culture. So a shared meaning system. Okay, a shared meaning system means you can sub this kind of the meaning system from your father or maybe from your mother or your parents, and then your grandfather or grandmother, or maybe the society. So this is about the shared meaning system. You learn from somebody. And then at the same time, the collective programming of the mind that distinguishes the members of one group of people from another. So same goes to this one, a collective programming. Okay, you learn from somebody. Okay, you have the collective programming, and then this they talk about the distinguish something like that from the members of one group, okay, from the society. For example, like is in Malaysia, we have our own societies or our own members. Same goes to our international student, because in this class we have I think two international students. So same like their country too, they learn something or they learn about the system, okay, they learn about the custom and so on from their members or unity, okay, or unity, sorry. And then so this is about the definition of the culture. And then, so basically, the broad view of culture is that it encompasses all value system of a nation. So sometimes because of you learn from somebody, so they become a value system of for that nation. All right. So the cultural concept, they have the national character. So let's say for us as a Muslim country, we have our own national character. So if you go to other country, they have their own national character. So depends. So you must know what are their national character. So you must know what are do and don'ts in terms of their national character before you come up with the certain product or service to that country. And then the next one, in terms of the cultural concept, also we have to know what are their values. Okay, because of each culture, they have the values. Okay, and then in terms of the time orientation, also one of the cultural concept, as we know in Malaysia, so we have the time orientation that become something like, let's say our class around 12, but we start around 12:10 because of this is our time orientation. But if you go to a certain country like US and maybe Japan, for example, they are very strict in terms of their time and so on. So let's say they have the meeting around 12. So of course in Japan, they just arrive at least 5 minutes before start the meeting. So maybe around 11:55 minutes before noon, okay, for example. So this is kind of the time orientation in Japan. Same in US, okay, they are very strict about time. So let's say the meeting around 12, so at least 12 noon, they just come to that place. So this is about the culture also. And then the next one, we have the space orientation. So when we talk about space orientation, it's about the space in terms of the boss and then your staff, or maybe you with your client and so on. So let's say if you deal with Japan, okay, they are very strict in terms of the space. So you must have at least 1 meter space with them. Okay, if you want to deal with them. Or maybe if you deal with the Arab country or Middle East, they are very close. Okay, so they don't mind about the space. They are very great if you are really can sit together and then sit very near with them and so on. So this is about the space orientation. So you must know what are the different in terms of this kind of the space orientation based on that country. And then at the same time, in terms of the culture, also we try to know what are the perception, because each culture they have a different perception actually. Okay, same goes to the thinking. So the way they are thinking about the decision making, for example, so at this certain country, they are very different. So you must know what are the different. And then, of course, about the language or languages. So if you want to deal with a certain country, let's say France or maybe Japan or Korea, for example, they don't like if you want to speak in English with them, but they really appreciate if you can speak their language. So how you can speak with their language? Of course, you must have the translator. Okay, you can speak English, but the translator just spoke with their language, so easy for them to understand, and they are very grateful with you. All right. So the next one we have the non-verbal communication. So this is the other way in terms of the under communication. So let's say sometimes they speak a different, but based on their non-verbal communication, such as their gesture, okay, their face expression and so on, they have a different. Okay, for example, here in terms of the non-verbal communication, in terms of the gesture, for example, for us like this is mean. What does mean for us, guys?
Good job.
Good.
Good, excellent, something like that. Okay, or maybe this one is okay, but in certain country they have a different meaning. Okay, let's say this one in Japan. What does mean, guys? In Japan, do you know what that's mean? This sign. Anybody knows? It is about the non-verbal communication. Anyone know, guys?
Not sure.
Adik? Not sure.
Right, sir.
Yes, Halima.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Are you
no.
sure? Are you sure this mean okay in Japan?
No.
Sure, sir.
Not sure. Okay, later on we have the example. Okay, just wait until this finish this chapter. Okay, we have the example for the non-verbal communication in terms of the signage. Okay, in certain country, for us, yes, that mean okay, but in that country, they have a different meaning. So you must know what are the different meaning. Okay, so the next one in terms of the behavior. So the behavior also might have a different in terms of their different culture. And the same goes to the social groupings and relationship. Okay, so this is in terms of the, let's say, if you have the business in KL, for example, they might have a different social grouping and relationship. So if you deal with the party in Kedah, for example, so this is a look at for the Malaysia location and so on. So in Kedah, they might have a different things in terms of the social grouping and so on, even in country. So this is about the culture. They are very nice way if you learn, and then after we know it, and then you make a deal with them. Easy to make a deal with them. Okay. So next we have why is knowledge of culture important to global marketing? They are very, very important. Okay, so a country culture has been identified is a key environmental characteristic that systematic differences in behavior. Okay, so from here you can characterize or you can understand what are the systematic differences in terms of our culture and with their culture, or maybe differences in our behavior and with their behavior. So from here, easy to you to make any appointment or any activities or any business with that culture. And then in terms of this one powerful force that shapes consumer behavior, so ignoring culture differences between countries has been the cause of business failure. So this statement means if you're trying to ignore, okay, because they think this culture, our culture is the best. For example, like Japan, they always think their culture is the best. But in this certain country, they just still follow with their culture, their thinking and so on. So if they go to that country, their business become failure. Okay, so this is very, very crucial and very important issue. If very important, at least we know about their culture and so on. Okay, right here we have the cultural iceberg. Okay, what do you really understand about this picture? Anyone?
The upper part, which we can see like physically, like
Physically.
yeah, we can see like straight away. But for the time
Uh-huh.
orientation and social relationship, it's more like the thing you cannot see, but you need to have a deep like research, or you need to know deeply about it. Maybe.
Correctly, Aina. Thank you very much, Anna Ashikin. Yes, as we know, if you look at based on this picture, okay, sometimes if you want to know what are kind of the music and what kind of the dress and what types of the food they have for that country, we just go to Google and so on. But in terms of the time orientation, in terms of the social relationship, sometimes you can know after you deal with them. Okay, that's why they are like Aina told us about the music, dress, and food. You can look in terms of the physical, but inside of that culture, they are maybe different in terms, especially for the time orientation, social relationship. Okay, they are very different. So how you want to know? You must do some research. Okay, so this is in terms of the cultural iceberg. And then if you look for the iceberg, okay, at the top, they are very something like this. But if you look at for the surface, they are very big. So that's why we must learn and we try to do some research before we go to that country. At least we know. And then after that, after we understand about the relationship and then the different about this thing and so on, so easy for you to make a business with them. Okay? And then the next one, we have the concept of national characteristics. So this is the national character concept. So if you look at for the national character or characteristic, assumes that each country has its own character. Okay, that's why I told you previously, each country they have their own character. So let's say in Malaysia, what are the best character to show this is the Malaysia? Guys.
being tolerate.
Being tolerate. Are you sure?
Yes, I think Malaysian is very tolerateful.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Adib. Sorry, Abid. Sorry, Abid. Okay. Thank you, Abid. So what about the rest? What about
Busybody.
Halima? Yes. Pardon?
Busybodies, Malaysian culture.
Busybody. Oh my God. Okay. Are you sure we are very busybody?
Some of us.
So some means not a national character. Actually, national character is something like they are very. If you look at that kind of the behavior, or means, oh, this is a Malaysian. Okay, this is a Malay. This is Chinese. This is Indian, for example.
Maybe friendly.
You what, sir?
Friendly, friendly.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we used to call.
Yeah, friendly.
Pardon. Friendly.
Greet people.
Greet people. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's say we have the international student in this class, right? Okay. Halima. Halima Mohammed.
Yeah,
You are from?
I'm from Djibouti.
Pardon?
I'm from Djibouti, but actually I live in Kuwait, Middle East.
Okay, in Middle East. Okay.
Yeah,
Chibuchi. Am I right?
yeah.
Okay, Chibuchi. Okay, Halima, before you, right now, you're currently in Malaysia, right?
No, I'm in Kuwait,
Oh,
Middle East.
oh, in Kuwait, in Middle East. So what
Yeah.
about our time, your time over there?
It's 7:30 in the morning.
Okay, oh my God. Okay, we already noon. See, about the time consuming or time orientation different. Okay, so Halima, so before what we call it, registered in University of Kuala Lumpur, especially in UBS or UniKL Business School. So what do
Yeah.
you expect about Malaysia?
What I was expecting.
What do you expect
Um,
in Malaysia about Malaysia?
I wasn't expecting that much. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was, I was ready to everything.
Oh, you're
I
just
didn't have
ready to everything.
expectation. Yeah.
Okay. So why? So my other question is, why you choose Uni KL as your place to further your study?
Because I heard about
Heard
my
from?
family friends.
Oh, your
My
family
family friends.
friends.
Yeah.
I see. Just heard it and oh, I want to study in Uni KL. That's all.
I actually tried, but in Cyberjaya and
Okay.
other universities,
All
but
right.
it didn't they didn't have international business, so I
Ah.
had to change to UNICAF.
Okay. So means you still trying to choose KL or Kuala Lumpur or Malaysia as your part for your for the
No,
study.
I was
Oh,
trying
I
to go
see.
somewhere else, but
Okay.
it's the deadline was already like finished, so I
Ah.
had to change. I was going
o-
to France, but
Okay.
we
All
changed the
right.
plan. Yeah.
So, in terms of the national character, if you look about Malaysia, what in your mind told you about, okay, this is a Malaysian?
Um, like no offense, okay.
No offense, okay? It's okay. We just
But
discuss.
like I've been living in the hostel, for example. I
Okay.
realized that, for example, Malaysians when they
Mm-hmm.
are together or like I'm with them,
Mm-hmm.
but they still talk in Malay. They don't want to try to
Bahasa.
speak in English. So
Okay.
this is the main big thing.
Okay, that's for the
Yeah.
negative part. Okay, negative
Yeah.
part. Okay.
The positive
Uh-huh.
the positive they are very chill. They are calm,
Oh,
which
very
is good.
chill and calm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And nice. Like they're helpful.
Okay, so friendly. So the
Yeah,
answer
very
from
friendly.
Aina and Muhammad Juma is correct. Friendly.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Okay,
Also
then
polite, sir.
polite. Okay, is
Yeah,
it correct,
polite.
Halima? You are so polite.
Yeah, they are actually, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, this is a positive thing. Okay, other thing. What about? I think we have the another international. By the way, thank you very much, Halima, for your sharing.
Welcome, sir.
All right. So actually, we have another one international student in this class. I forgot the name.
Noor.
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 Noor, where are you, Noor? Are you in this Microsoft Teams?
Yes, yes, sir.
Ah, yes. Okay, Noor, you are from?
I'm from Yemen.
Pardon?
From Yemen.
Yemen. All right. So, what about you, Noor? What are the national character you can get from the uni KL or maybe KL or maybe Malaysia?
Um, so how you know they are Malaysian, right?
Yes.
Mm, I have noticed that Malaysian, whenever you look at them, they
Uh-huh.
directly smile.
Pardon?
When I have noticed that
Mm-hmm.
Malaysian, whenever you look at them,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't know him or her,
Mm-hmm.
they smile. They like to smile.
Okay, smile. Okay, this is the first impression you can get from the Malaysian people. Okay, all right, that's a positive thing. Other things?
Mm, I think that's all.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
And then, no, right, currently in Malaysia or in
Yeah.
Yemen?
No, no,
In
Malaysia.
Malaysia. Okay, you can learn more details about the national culture in Malaysia.
Yes.
Okay, no? Okay, so thank you very much, Noor and Halima, for our international student, what we call it, trying to share with their experience in Malaysia, even Halima right now, currently in Middle East. Okay, so it's okay. So when we talk about the national character, actually you can find from their lifestyle, for example. Okay, maybe you mentioned about their smart, friendly, and then maybe if they are in grouping, for example, they just talk about they just what we call it use their own language, their mother tongue language, for example, because this is national character. Even you go to other country, same goes to that situation. Okay, but let's say right now in current situation, we have the class, and then I know in this class we have the international student. Of course, I must use 100% in English. I can't use any bahasa Malaysia in this class because maybe for our international student, Norman and Halima can't understand about the language. But later on, maybe luckily for Nomanor, because Nomanor staying in Malaysia. So maybe after you finish your study, you can speak at least 10% or 20% is about our language. At least you can learn something from your friends or maybe from the society and so on. So the national character sometimes we can look at based on a food, for example, because you can find only nasi lemak in Malaysia. You can find in the nasi lemak in other country. Is it? Am I right, Halima and Nomanor?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See. So
And
this is
nasi
about the
goreng.
nasi goreng. Oh, what other country? I think nasi goreng also have in China.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. In
Okay.
China. Yeah. But maybe in terms of the halal or not halal, okay, did that different in terms of the ingredient and so on. But I think popular also nasi goreng in China, okay, I think so. And at the same time, they are always what we call it, eat soup, for example, because in China they are very favorite in terms of their food, in terms of the soup, okay. So that in terms of the China. So that's mean in terms of food, sometimes you can know about the national character, okay. And
Yeah.
yes, Abid.
Sorry.
Abid? Yes, okay. All right. So the national character assumes that each country has its own character. So, okay, for us as a local student, for Malaysian student, okay. So what about us? What about our? Do you just want to sharing, okay, about the national character based on the Yemen and also in Middle East? Is it Chibuchi? Am I right? Chibuchi.
No, sir, it's okay. You can just say Kuwait. It's a
Oh,
Middle East.
Kuwait. Okay, Kuwait or
Yeah.
Middle East. So for us, international, sorry, for local student or Malaysian student, so what do you know about the Kuwait and Yemen?
Maybe the people is rich.
Oh, you are so rich. Is it correct, Halima and Normanol? Are you a very rich?
True. No,
Oh,
sometimes people in Middle East,
uh-huh.
like they're They're rich, yeah, of course. We have petrol.
Okay. Okay, that's why. So this is in terms of the lifestyle. Okay, and then
Yeah.
the economics and so on. Okay, thank you, Aina and Halima. Okay, what about the rest? Yes,
Uh,
Abi.
if we talk about Yemen, I think Yemen is I think like the media, like the international media show Yemen
Mhm.
uh like or not a so stable country, right? Because there's some war, like civil war and so on.
Okay, is it correct, Nomanur?
Yes, yes, correct.
Okay, so that's in terms of politics or economics?
That is considered as politic lah.
Yes, politic parts. Okay, so this is the other national character. What about the rest? What about language? Are you using Arabic language?
Yeah.
Of course, right? So Middle East
Yep.
and Yemen, I think both you're using Arabic language, but the dialect sometimes might have a different. Am I right?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, like Halima, you're more using something like the pure Arabic language, or you have a different dialect.
Actually, Kuwaitis people have a different dialect. It's
Oh, I
not the
see.
pure one.
Okay, for example,
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. What about your country? You said the same Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Oh, the same one. So what are the
Yeah.
different? Maybe could you share with us what the different, for
Sir,
example?
sir, I live here, but I'm in a French school, so I don't really go
Oh,
like into
I
people.
see.
I'm
I
more in my
see.
community.
I see. All right. All right.
Yeah.
So your preferred language is
French.
French. Oh, au
Yeah.
revoir, salut, merci beaucoup, and so on. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So even you are in Kuwait, but you use French language.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Halima. Thank you. What about Norman Noor?
Yes, sir.
Norman Noor, you're using a pure Arabic, or you have a different dialect in your
Uh,
country?
we can use both. Like,
Both.
yeah, some
Okay.
people like they don't understand our dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
so we can speak pure Arabic.
I see. Can you give me? Can you share with us what the example of the different pure dialect and with your own language?
You want in Arabic?
Yes. Example in Arabic.
Example, how to say how are you, but in
Okay.
pure Arabic you say كيف حالك.
Kaifa halak. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a
but
pure Arabic.
in our dialogue we say كيفك.
Oh, this is something like the pronunciation difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. Okay, okay. Thank you very much for the sharing. So,
Yeah,
guys, for the local students, so you know about this, even they are use the Arabic, for example, because they are in Middle East, but they have a different something like the pronunciation. So it is about the national character sometimes, okay, because of the language. Okay, by the way, thank you very much, our international student and our local student, for the sharing the knowledge and so on in terms of the national character. Okay, so people from a given nation share common behavioral patterns that are distinct from other nation. Okay, this is about the behavioral patterns. Okay, like as a Malaysian, we have a different behavioral patterns. Okay, like in Yemen, for example, and then we have the Kuwait example. They have a different behavioral patterns. Okay, so this is in terms of the national character. So from here, sometimes we know, okay, this kind of the national character, this kind of the behavior patterns, we know, okay, these are from that country. Okay, and then the second one, perceptions of national character are often based on indirect experience. Okay, it's about the perception. Perception. Actually, if you look at for the perception, for your information, something like at the first impression. Okay, sometimes your perception is very high or too high, but suddenly they are not that level and so on. So that's we call it for the perception. Yeah, first impression, something like that. So after you deal with them, after you have any activity with them, sometimes after that you know what are the real talk about their nation and so on, national character and so on. Okay, so if you look at here, based on the perception of national character are often based on indirect experience. They can be inaccurate and are, okay, see, inaccurate. Sometimes you expect like this, but you have different things. Okay, and then clouded by racism, ethnocentrism, and discrimination. And then the next one, we have the national character may not reflect actual personality traits. Okay, so these are the about the perception under the national character in term of the certain country. Okay, so the next one, we have the role of subculture. So subculture means we have the main culture and then they have the other culture under the main one. So that's we call it for the subculture. So subcultures develop around characteristic that is different from the predominant national culture. Okay, they have the characteristic, they have their own characteristic, and then they might have a different with the predominant national culture. So this is we call it for the subculture. And then a corporate culture, okay, this is another things, are essentially subcultures that exist within the business world. So when we talk about corporate culture, normally among of the company or business world. Okay, let's say in UniKL, we have our own corporate culture. Okay, if you go to other university, they have your own corporate culture. So depends. So actually, this kind of the corporate culture, they're just a subculture, essentially subculture that exist within the business world, only using for the business world. Okay. Then the next one often transcend national borders and culture. So this is another thing because they are just a transcend about the national border and the culture. So they might have a different. So they have the example. They give the example here. MySpace, okay, user in Ukraine who has accepted the value of individual expression. Okay, for information, I don't think so. MySpace right now we can use is it have in the market in the media socials, MySpace? Anybody knows or anyone have the account under MySpace?
I think nowadays,
Uh,
sure, but nobody use MySpace anymore. Maybe lah.
Yeah. Is it
Because
still valid? Is it still valid MySpace
I'm
the
not
social media?
sure. I'm not sure it is still valid, but those days, yes.
Pardon, Adila? Adila?
I think they only use MySpace those days because right now we're using other account like Instagram and other social media. So I think
Yeah.
MySpace is not valid anymore.
Yes, not valid anymore. Okay, this is give you example because this textbook we use I think during 2008 or 2007 something like that. Okay, so during that time, MySpace is one of the what we call it the medium. Okay, you can use for do something like relation with the others, especially for the world. Okay, so that's why they give the example for the MySpace. Right now, maybe we can use the Instagram, okay? Maybe use the Twitter and other things, okay? So MySpace user in Ukraine who has accepted the value of individual expression. So culturally associate with the US and then by having a MySpace page and then but has also customized that page to her own culturally influenced values and sensibilities, okay? So she's also connected with other MySpace users from around the world who share her interest in the online community, but not necessarily her national cultural values or taste. So from here, you can learn something from other culture and so on. So this is the best thing about the MySpace. Okay, right now we just have the Twitter, Instagram, and then I forgot the name of the latest one. Anybody knows the latest one in terms of the social media, except for the IG or Instagram and Twitter?
Snapchat.
TikTok.
Snapchat. Yes, TikTok. Okay, but TikTok is very short, right? It's just something like more to entertainment. Okay, so this is the kind of the medium you can use to learn something about other culture and so on. The same goes to this example. So from here, they know what are the subculture from the actual or the asset of their main culture. Okay, so global marketers must determine if their product will appeal to their national culture values and the values of the subculture of which they are a member or both. And the national character studies can explain in aggregate, but not in. What is that, guys? But not. Anyone could you help me? Because they got some bar in this Microsoft team. I can read. But not,
Necessarily.
Necessarily.
not,
Necessarily.
but not
Necessarily.
necessarily. Okay, consumer behavior. Okay, am I right?
Not individual consumer behavior.
Okay, not individual consumer behavior. So this is the rule of the subculture. So you become a global marketers. Okay, maybe you work with the MNC company. You must know how to determine what are their product would appeal. Okay, especially you can do about the national culture values in terms of the subculture and other things. Okay, this is the interesting about the culture and subcultures. Okay, next we have the Hofstede, a 5 dimension of national culture. So this one you learn more details in international management and in CCM subject. Okay, so 5 dimension inherent in culture in terms of the individualism versus collectivism. Okay, they have a different. Some of the country they are more to individualism. Some of the country they are used more to the collectivism. Like us in Malaysia, we use the collectivism. Okay, like Yemen or Kuwait, I think we same too. We are more something like collectivism. Am I right? Yemen and Kuwait.
I don't know, sir.
I'm not so
About
sure.
Kuwait. Not so
Okay,
sure.
okay, it's okay. Norman, what about Norman Noor? Is it your country more to individual or collectivism? Actually, individual something like the decision making. You can have the in term of the individual. Let's say after your meeting, your boss can raise up the any decision making and so on. But in for the collectivism, normally your boss can do some meeting with the subordinate and so on, and then they come up with the what are the best planning, and then after that they discuss what are the best one, and then we come up with the best decision making. So that's for the collectivism. So Norman Noor, your country more to individualism or collectivism?
I think collectivism.
So I think so. So we are the same one, okay? But if you deal with the US, okay, you are very individualism. Okay, that's different. So if you want to do a business with this kind of the country, you must know. Okay, let's say if you want to deal with the US, you must give the what we call it the timeline and so on. But if you want to deal with the Middle East and Malaysia, for example, you especially for the Middle East, I think, okay, you can't give any timeline for that because if you give timeline for the Middle East manager or something like that, yeah, said something, you are very rude. Okay, they don't like if you have the timeline and so on. Okay, so you must know how to deal with this kind of the culture and so on. Okay, next we have the second dimensions. Okay, under half state, they have the masculinity versus femininity. Okay, this is different about the country. Like Malaysia, we are more to masculinity. Okay, the femininity maybe in terms of their more create bonding and more create a relationship rather than what we call it the result and so on. So that's different in terms of the masculinity versus femininity. All right, and then the next one, power distance. Okay, Malaysia also one of the example. We are very high in terms of the power distance. Let's say if you want to meet somebody, if they got title Dato, you must call them Dato. If you don't call that Dato title, so for us, yeah, you are very rude sometimes. you are very rude with that person, for example. Okay, so this is in terms of the power distance. So at least if you want to deal about the business, for example, with Malaysian company, or what we call it, a organization, you must deal with their boss first. Okay, after that, your boss just assign somebody to settle about the business and so on. Okay, this is about the power distance. And then the next one about the uncertainty avoidance, because the certain country, they try to avoid any risk. Okay, but at a certain country, they try to take a risk. Take a risk. Sorry. So this is about the uncertainty avoidance. So you must know, if you want to deal with that country, you must know that country under which part of this dimension. And then the last one under national half state dimension, we have the long-term versus short-term orientation. So long-term, you must give them around 1 year or 2 year or above, okay, or other years and so on. But for the short-term, maybe 6 months, 6 days, or maybe 1 week, for example. Okay, it depends. Okay, depends on the country. If you deal with the America, for example, they are very short-term orientation. Okay, but if you deal with the Arab or Middle East, they are very long-term orientation. And same goes to the France. Okay, they are just they look at for the friendship rather than for the result and so on. So that's different. You must know what are the different in terms of this kind of the dimension for that country before we do a business with them. Okay, guys.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next, culture use affect many decision inherent in the marketing mix. Okay, and when we talk about marketing mix, or either 4 P's or 7 P's, and then especially product and promotional consideration. Okay, this is about the product or service, and then what are the promotional we can consider in terms of the culture values. Okay, next we have the half state dimension. These are more details, so you can read by yourself. Okay, and then the next one, we have the short value survey. Okay, in terms of the short value survey, they have 4 dimensions rather than the half state, they got 5 dimensions. So for the short value survey, they have the openness to change. Okay, that's the dimension number 1. And then self-transcendence, and then conservatism, and then self-enhancement. So if you look at based on this picture, they have the openness to change. Okay, in terms of the self-direction, stimulation, and so on, they are this part. And then for the self-transcendence, they have the universalism, and then they have the benevolence. And then for the conservation, they have the conformity, tradition, security. And then for the self-enhancement, they have the power, achievement, and hedonism. So these are the dimension and the Schwartz value survey. So one advantage of this Schwartz value survey is that it can measure individual value differences. And the researchers have utilized Schwartz to study consumer behavior, particularly for segmentation and advertising. So this is for the international marketing in terms of the segmenting and advertising. Okay, under STP. Okay, segmentation, positioning, and targeting. So you can use this kind of the dimension for this short value survey. All right. Next, we have the next model, okay, the group model. Okay, under the group model, actually they got 8 dimension, okay. So global leadership and organizational behavior effectiveness. And then attributes defining a specific culture are predictive of leadership style and organizational practices. And then for the cluster, countries on the basis of shared similarities among social and psychological variables such as attitudes, values, and work goal. So these are the globe model. And then we have the culture and communication. Okay, culture and communication is spoken or verbal communication is often believed to be the dominant form. So of communication, yet it is estimated that between 50 and 90% of communication is non-verbal. Okay, you can say it from here. Between 50 and 90% of communication is non-verbal. So you can get the result based on their non-verbal actually. Non-verbal maybe from their gesture, from their facial expression and other things. All right. And then low context cultures, words are explicit. Okay. And then for the high context cultures, the meaning of what is said is hidden in the, what is that, guy? In the
way it is said.
and the way it is said. Okay, thank you, Abi. All right, so they have a different in terms of the culture. If that country, they categorize, they are very low contact culture. They try to words. They try to not use the words. Okay, they are more intent for the non-verbal communication. But if they are very high in that country, they are very high context culture. They are very the meaning of what is said is hidden. Okay, they try to hide. Okay, let's say they don't like you, but they try to hide you. But if you deal with the low contact culture, if they don't like you, they just mention, I don't like you so much, for example. They are very straight. Okay, and straight. Okay, so this is about the culture and communication in terms of the low contact culture and high contact cultures. All right. So the next one, we have the non-verbal communication. Low context culture are monochronic, doing one thing at a time. So this is for the low contact culture. So if you want to deal with them, so please do not give any task with them. Okay, because they just doing one time at time. Okay, but for the culture that less time oriented are polychronic like us. Okay, they are very less time oriented. Okay, we are polychronic. So polychronic means doing a number of things at the same time. So you can give any what we call it event, for example, 2 or more event with a Malaysian manager, because we can do it. Okay, so that's the difference in terms of the low culture and high culture in terms of this kind of the nonverbal communication. And then the relation to space represent another forms of nonverbal communication. So in terms of the size related to status and then personal space. Okay, this is about the nonverbal communication, personal space. Okay, I give the example. If you want to deal with the Japan, you must have the space with them, especially for the manager and so on. Okay, they don't like if you speak with them, they are very close and so on. But if you want to deal with the Middle East, okay, in Arab, for example, they are always love if you can sitting together and very close together. Okay, that's different in terms of the country. Okay, so the next one, we have the differences between monochronic and polychronic culture. We have the factors, and then we have the action. Okay, factors for the action. For monochronic, do one thing at time. Polychronic action, do many things at times and once. And then focus. Okay, in terms of the monochronic action, they are concentrate on the objective or task. But for the polychronic, are easily distracted. Okay, they are not too focused. And then attention to time for the monochronic action, plan when things must be achieved. Okay, so if you plan that one, you must achieve that. Okay, but for the polychronic action, what will be achieved is more important than when. Okay, so let's say if you deal with them, you have the business with kind of the polychronic action, like Arab, for example. So they are preferred, what we call it, they are preferred, we can, what we can achieve, okay, rather than what we call it, achieve rather than is more important than when. So if you deal with the kind of the polychronic action, you can give any, what we call it, timeline. Okay, they don't like it. But if you deal with them, okay, let's say that project is success. So that's the most important things about the polychronic action. Okay, and then in terms of the priority, the monochronic action, the task come first. Okay, that's the monochronic action. And then for the polychronic action, relations come first. Okay, they love being a relation with you before you talk about the task. All right. And then respect for property. Okay, for the monochronic action, seldom borrow or lend things. Okay, that's monochronic. For the polychronic action, borrow and lend things often and easily. Okay, means you can borrow because they're trying to create a bonding and they try to create relationship with you. That's why they are borrow and lend things often and easily. Okay, right? That's the difference. So far, any question, guys?
Sir,
Yes, Abi.
is it possible to have the mix between monochronic and polychronic? For example, I prefer to do one thing at a time, but then I prioritize more on the relationships, for example.
Okay. This one, Abi, you can look based on which country you want to enter. Okay. Let's say this is based on you. You want both together. Okay. But if you want to deal with the other manager with other country, you must follow this thing. You must know. Okay. Let's say if you want to deal with the Arabic, the Arab students, sorry, the Arab manager, for example. So you must know they are always do something like relation rather than the action. Okay, so you must create rebonding first with them, and after that you can after you have a good relation or after you have a great relation and so on with them, and all, they also can create a relation with us, good bonding and so on. So after that, you may ask about the task and so on. So after that, you can use the both things. Okay, depends on the country. But if you want to deal with the country, they are more to monochronic action, you must ask about the task first. And after that, relationship come after that. Okay, Abid?
Clear, sir.
All right, good. What about the rest? Any question? Guys? Any other question before we move to the next
No,
slide?
sir.
Yes, I will.
No,
No
no,
question?
sir.
No? All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, I move to the next slide. Uh, okay. Okay, this is non-verbal communication examples. Okay, I give you the example of the signage. Okay, so this signage, okay, like this, something like we're trying to think. Okay, in some Latin Americans countries had countries a head tap. Okay, like this. Okay, head tap can mean I'm thinking. Okay, for us too, like this mean oh I'm thinking. Do you have any question? Okay, you do like this. So this is non-verbal communication. So I know you are thinking. But right now you are not open the the camera or video. So I'm not so sure about your non-verbal communication. All right. So in other countries such as United States or US, it's signed she or he crazy. So please be careful. Okay, let's say if you want to deal the business with the United States, maybe the manager or maybe company in United States, you can use this one during the meeting. Okay, for example, the manager from the US said, okay, Zol, do you have any question? You do like this. So for them, that's mean he is crazy. So please be careful. Okay, guys?
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Sir.
all right.
Okay, sir.
Right? So that's number one. The second one, this signage. Okay, this signage, I don't know how to do that. Is it like this? Like this. Am I right? Yes. Okay. So holding finger, okay, holding finger in the figure of a fig signifies good luck in Brazil and Venezuela. Okay, means you have the project in Brazil and Venezuela. Okay, just say good luck. For us, maybe good luck like this. Good luck, chayo, something like that, right? But if you deal with the Brazil and Venezuela, you just have the like signage, okay, like this. Good luck, for example. But in some other country, it is an obscene gesture. What does mean obscene gesture? Guys,
I'm polite.
impolite gesture. Yes. Thank you. Yes. So if you want to deal with the Brazil and Venezuela manager, you must use this kind of the nonverbal communication or signage. But other country, and especially it's a certain country, they are very unpolite gesture. So please be careful. And then the last one, I told you the previous is during the start class, right? Like this. Okay. So a circle means it's okay in the US or United States for us too, right? Okay. This means okay. Okay. But in Japan, it signifies money. Okay. So that's a different definition or meanings about this sign. In Japan means money. Okay, guys? You got something? Guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Very
sir.
clear, sir.
Okay. In Japan, this means money.
Very clear.
Right? Right. In Germany, it is
Okay.
of cents. Okay. And impolite in Russia. So it means they have a negative meanings about this sign. So if you go to Germany and Russia, never ever use this sign. Okay. Okay. Because we are Malaysian, we use this one. Okay. I think in Kuwait and Yemen too, we use the same meanings about this sign. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So means okay. Okay. So if you let's say in our class, maybe later on we have the Germany student because last 2 years or last year something like that we have the Germany student. So I can use this sign during the class. So that's mean of sense. Okay, because we have the Germany students the last year or last 2 years something like that. Okay. Next, we have the global class customer. Okay, in terms of China, if you look at for the China market or China market customers, many view China as the world largest market. Yes, and then there are differences between the urban, okay, money population in global cities such as Shanghai and the interior of the country, and then they have gender differences, and then rely on advertising for different information depending on their level of marketing sophistication. So this is about the China. You must know even they are Chinese, but sometimes they have a different in terms of the between a urban and the other places and so on. Okay, so we look at for the global customer for India. So given the enormous market size and it's relatively small but growing middle class, and the marketers should consider its potential and the opportunities presented in this underserved market. And then the major market challenges is widespread corruption. Okay, this happened in India, and then large informal economy, and then the third one is widest income disparity. So that's why if you look at for the India, they have four caste. Okay, they have the rich one. They have the name. I forgot. Is it Ram? Anyone still remember about the cluster in India or caste in India? Anyone knows? They got four. Guys, guys. Anybody
Sorry,
know?
sir. Internet, sir.
I
Internet,
don't
sir.
know, sir. Sorry.
Pardon?
Sorry, sir. Don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Don't know. Arif,
Yeah.
don't know. What about Adil Hawa?
Me too. I'm not really sure.
Okay. What about the rest? Anybody knows about the caster? Caster in India. They got four caster. Hmm. Guys, anyone know?
I only remember the Brahmin, is it?
Yeah, Brahmin. I think Brahmin is the richest person, right? The
Yeah,
richest.
yeah, the richest and like the
Correct. I know.
king.
Correct. The Brahmin. What about the rest? They got four actually. The lowest one. Okay, I found it. I found it from the Google. Brahmin is the highest of the. Sorry, the Brahmin is the highest of the castes and traditionally prized or teachers. Brahmin make up a small part of the Indian population. Yeah, very small one. Okay, this the second layer after Brahmin, the second top is Kshatriyas. Okay, Kshatriyas is meaning protector of the gentle people, And then Kshatriyas were traditionally the military class. Okay, that's the second class in India. And then they have the Vaishyas. Okay, Vaishyas, the third one. And then the next one they have the Shudras, Adivasi, and Dalits. Okay, actually Shudras something like they're very low class. They are really lowest one. Okay, means the ordinary person in that country. So this is about the caste in India. They got four, and then you must know what are the different in terms of this cluster and so on, the caste and so on. Okay, so the major markets challenge about the widespread corruption, large informal in the economy, and widest income disparity. Okay, next we have the products for developing market. So designing products and services that fit the poor special needs and purchasing patterns can mean opportunities not only for the underprivileged but also for the companies that are serving these market. And then this product must include the three A's. Okay, number one is affordability. Second one is access, and then the third one is availability. So this, if you want to go abroad, okay, go to international or global, you must have this kind of three A's. Okay, affordability about your products, and about the access, how they can access your products, and then how you can what we call it give the availability about the product and so on. Is it they can get anywhere about your product and so on. So you must know about this thing to make sure you can develop in that market. Okay, and then the last one, the summary, entire world is growing, various ways of dividing the countries of the world into different regional markets. And the shortage of goods and services is the central problem of transitioning economies and low-income countries. And then all buyers go through a similar process in making a purchase decision, and then the patterns by which an individual adopts a new idea described by sociologist Everett Rogers, and then comprises of three concepts that are extremely useful to global marketers, and then the adaptation process, characteristic of innovation, and the adapter categories. So far, any question, guys, before we take a break around 10 minutes?
Sir,
Yes, Aina?
for the national character you said just now, is it,
Mm-hmm.
can we say it as a stereotype of a country?
A stereotype is something like you can give something like negative perception. That's stereotype. You can say this stereotype.
Oh, so national character can be both positive and negative.
Normally, the national character we know about that country because of this thing. Okay, just I told you previously, we have the nasi lemak. Okay, if you found nasi lemak, oh, this kind of food only in Malaysia. Okay, and then in terms of the
Okay.
behavioral patterns, for example, that's food. For the behavioral patterns, okay, let's say like Halima and Norman Noor said, okay, if they see us as a Malaysian, even they don't know each other, but Malaysian normally just smile. Okay, just smile. Okay, this character, oh, are you Malaysian? So from that we know, oh, you are Malaysian. Okay,
Okay.
okay, that's the national character. So what are the character based on as, okay, as a Malaysian, for example, okay, they know, okay, even you not told them, okay, I'm from Malaysia, but you know from their character, oh, I think you are from Malaysia. You can give something like perception in terms of the national character, in terms of the character of that person.
So it's simply like what represent the country that they have.
Yes,
Okay. Okay,
yes,
sir.
exactly. Okay,
Thank you.
you're most welcome. But in this certain place, certain something like a character might have the same like us in Indonesia, for example. Normally we are similar, but in terms of the language, they have a different things. Okay, we have used Bahasa Malaysia, and then but Indonesia they have the Bahasa Indonesia. Even in terms of the pronunciation, sometimes they have a different and then different meanings. Okay, all
Okay,
right,
sir.
guys. Right, Aina. What about the rest? So far, we have 16, 18, and 20 students just online. Any question before we take a break? Just 10 minutes.
No question, sir.
No question. All right. Thank you, Mardia. The rest? Please, I need two ways communication, guys.
Sir, can we add the
Yes.
break to 15 minutes?
Oh, 15.
Uh-huh.
Okay lah. Okay.
Boleh?
Okay lah. That another example of the language we can use, a slang we can use, especially for the Halima and Halima and Noor. Okay. If you deal with Malaysian, if they use the English, normally they got a phrase about lah. Okay lah. Okay. Okay, guys. So by the way, if you have any questions, so I give you 15 minutes for a break. Okay, 15 minutes. So we meet again after 1:40. Am I right? Yes, 1:40. And then we have the fourth chapter. This the chapter 4. Okay, guys.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we meet
All
again
right,
after.
sir. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Hi, Assalamualaikum guys. Guys, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam, sir.
Okay, still there, right? Okay. So can we continue for the chapter 4? This chapter is around 25 slides. I'm trying to finish before 2:30, inshallah. Okay?
Yes, sir. Boleh, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for your feedback. All right. So we made again for the chapter 4, and then this chapter is about analyzing political and legal environment. So this we try to analyze about another two things. Okay, in terms of the underpart. So we have the political, and then the second one is about the legal or law, the environment of the country. So, based on the John McConnell, a founder of International Earth Day, let every individual and institution think and act as a responsible trustee of Earth. Okay, seeking choices in ecology, economics, and ethics that will provide a sustainable future. So, eliminate pollution, poverty, and violence, awaken the wonder of life, and foster peaceful progress in the human adventure. So this is from the John McConnell, founder of the International Earth Day, about the try to do any not a pollution and so on. At the same time, we try to have the good in terms of the economics and ethics for that country to make sure we can have the good progress in the human adventure. Okay, so in this chapter we have the world legal system. This is about the legal system in the world and the legal issues for global marketing. So what are the issues in terms of the intellectual property issues or IP issues? And then we have the trade regulations, and then the next issues we have the arbitration and mediation, and then another issue is about the marketing mix regulations. So next we have the political risk in terms of the terrorism and managing political risk. So how we want to manage the political risk and so on. Okay, you go to one by one. Okay, if you look at here based on the world legal system, okay, we have the how many system, guys? If you learn from
Three.
the three, okay, you learn actually this one from business law or commercial law, something like that. Okay, so in the country, in the world, okay, worldwide, okay, actually we have the three legal system. Okay, while a three of five, okay, actually they got there are five legal system in the world. Okay, civil, common, and Muslim law are dominant. So actually, even your five, actually, the legal system in the world, especially for the civil, okay, common law, and then Muslim law, okay, they are very dominant. This is three things. They are very dominant. The first one is about the civil, okay, civil law found in Europe, Asia, it means our country too, and in Central and South America, and it consists of codified legislation interpreted by judges. Okay, and then for the common law, okay, court adjudication are the primary source of law. So all the governments pass statutes and legislation. And then for the Muslim law, proceeds by way of example rather than principle. So the many resultant inconsistencies make global business matter difficult to adjudicate. Okay, so normally for the Muslim law, priority only for the Muslim. All right, so only about 30% of the world gross the domestic product and generate in countries governed by civil and common law terms. All right, so we look at one by one. Okay, if you look at from here, world legal system, this is the colored one, and we can look at here from the North America, we have the Central America, Caribbean, South America, Europe, African, Middle East, okay, Asia, and Southeast Asia. So if we look at from the color in this legal system for the world, okay, we have the civil law, okay, common law, and customary. Okay, so if you look at here for the Middle East example, because we have the one student from two student from Middle East, they are more to customary. Am I right? Customary or no mixed system?
Mixed.
Yeah, mixed system. Okay. What about Malaysia? What about Malaysia?
Malaysia mix.
Are you sure? Because
Yeah.
It's
in
not
this
Muslim law.
okay, actually Muslim law only we can use for the Muslim. But what about for the non-Muslim? We can't use Muslim law. Okay, actually if you look at here, the color of the Malaysian country is, I think they are more
Civil
to
law.
civil law.
Yeah,
Civil
civil.
law. Yes, civil law. Okay, Middle East they are more to mixed system. So, but if for Malaysia they are more to using civil law. But for the Muslim, okay, Muslim like me, like others Muslim, so we can use the certain part or certain case based on the Muslim law. Okay, depend on the what are the cases. Okay, so the next one, legal issues for global marketing. So because this is international marketing, we try to know what are the legal issues under for or if you want to do a global marketing. So global marketers must understand the legal system in which they operate. And then common legal scenarios include sales agencies, okay, and then distributorship agreements, and then custom and international trade regulations, and then export incentives and controls, and then arbitration, intellectual property right or IP, and then international technology transfer. So these are the scenarios we can use happen for the global marketers in terms of the legal system. Okay, if they are doing the operation and so on. So we look at one by one. Intellectual property issues. Okay, under intellectual property issues, they have the territoriality. Okay, so all intellectual property or IP law is based on the principles of territoriality. So each state or country determines for its own territory and what is to be protected and who should benefit from such protection and for how long, and how the protection should be enforced. So this is based on the territory. Okay, under IP, sometimes we can use the IP, what we call it, the IP issues in terms of the territory. So maybe that IP issues only we can use only for that territory. For other territory, we can use that IP issues. Okay, so depend on the territory. That's number one. And then the next one, we have the trademark. Okay, trademarks. Okay, if you notice, trademarks protect words. Okay, names, symbols, sound, or colors that distinguish goods. Okay, goods means products, and services they use SM. Okay, for the goods things they use normally we can find it this one in the logos. Okay, for the product normally they use TM. Let's say can you give me example the logos after they used to have the logos and then they got the small TM? An example.
Maybe McDonald's, I think.
McDonald. Are you sure McDonald use TM?
The M symbol.
No, I mean TM, not CM. Not M. M that's the logos for the for what we call it for the McDonald. This one use TM after the logos. They use TM.
Maxis.
Pardon?
Maxis.
McFeast. Uh, Adila Hawa.
Starbucks.
Yes, Starbucks. Halima. Okay, thank you, Halima. Yes, if you go to Google's, okay, if you found from the logos in Starbucks, they use TM. Okay, so means Starbucks is one of the company they produce the products. Okay, that's TM. Okay, this something like trademark. So from this one, this is mean they are registered under trademarks. So other company or other organization, they can't use this type of logos, okay, except if they can get the permission from the Starbucks. Okay, that's about the IP in terms of the trademark. So you as a businessman or businesswoman coming soon, you can use the same logos like other company, especially if they have the TM or other thing. Okay, maybe R, okay, and so on, because they are under IP. If you use that logos or that kind of the symbol, they may sue you. Okay, because they are already registered and paid for the intellectual property. Okay, that's for the products, TM. What about services? They use SM. Anyone knows? Guys? Guys?
Wait, sir, we try to think.
Okay. Not think. Try to search actually. Actually, I'm also trying to search
Yes,
in
sir.
Google, not try to think. Okay. Okay. If you found it, please inform me. Okay. Arif?
Oh, sorry, sir. I forgot to unmute. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay, what about the rest? Anyone found the any services logos they use SM?
Is it MasterCard or Amazon?
Okay, Amazon. We try to look at Amazon. Okay, Amazon. Actually, is Amazon USM?
From what I Googled, but I don't know, sir.
Okay. Actually,
Western.
Amazon.com they use. Is it R? I think R. R or SM? Amazon. Okay, guys. I found something like Amazon use R. R after this, we have the one slide for the registered. Okay, R stand for registered. Okay. Anyone found it?
Sir, Western Union.
Yeah?
Western Union.
Western Union. Okay,
Yes.
Western Union logo. Okay, we try to find it. Okay, they use SM. Yeah, correctly. Yes, no manner. Thank you. Okay, you found it. One example. Okay, Western Union is a motor service, right? They're more something like money transfer for the international level. Am I right, guys?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Mm.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's why Western Union logos they use SM. So mean they only provide service. So that's the different TM and SM. Even they are the same intellectual property and the trademark, but if you look the logo, they have TM and SM. You know, okay. Oh, this company they just provide products. Okay. If you look at for the SM, oh, this company they just provide services. So that's different. Okay. So if you look at here, trademark are highly valuable assets and it can be renewed forever as long as they are being used. And then gained by registration in most countries and first to file or first to use and depending on local legislation. And agreements such as Madrid offer protection in multiple countries and then disputes arise due to different brand perceptions between countries, assumptions regarding protection of multiple products and changing global nations. So that is trademark. So the example for the SM or service marks, is a Western Union. And then for the goods or service, products, yeah, using TM, for example, is Starbucks. Okay? All right, guys? So far, so good?
Okay, sir. Good, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes, good, sir.
Right,
All
sir.
right.
Nice.
Okay, nice. Yeah. All right. Next, we have the patents. Okay, patents are the intellectual property. Then, in this is what another issues happen for the global marketing. So, patent is a form of protection that provide a person or legal entity with exclusive right for making, using, or selling a concept or invention, and exclude others from doing the same for its duration. So patents can be maintained for a maximum of 20 years, okay, only. And the decision to grant or reject a patent rests with each country authority. And then patent treaties provide the option of stimulate, what is that, guys? Option of submitting one patent for protection in several nations. Okay, if you look at here patents, okay, normally the patent is something like a prototype. Okay, maybe they have the what we call it, that one is something like the model things, okay, like fashion, okay, like draw, something like that. That is demo to patents. So if you as the businessman or businesswoman, you must patent in terms of the draw and so on to make sure other company not use the same one. So let's say other company use the same patterns like your patents, you may sue that company. Okay, this is interesting about intellectual property. So again, you as a businessman or businesswoman, or maybe become a manager in an MNC company, for example, you can simplify, use the same patterns, the same drawing, the same something like a prototype with the other company, especially if they are already patents about that things. Okay, they are very dangerous. Okay, guys, are you okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next, patents as measure of innovations. Okay, of all countries, the United States granted the most patent, followed by Japan and Germany. And yet, when viewed by number of patents for per million people, which takes the size of country into consideration, the US was in third place after Japan and South Korea. Okay, this is about the patterns measure of innovation. Okay, especially if you come up with a new thing. Okay, like iPhone, something like under Apple. Okay, they if they use have the new things, sometimes they are draw and so on, they are pattern it. Okay, to make sure other company not use the same one. Okay, this is how we want to market, or this is we can call it's about the marketing things. All right. And then the next one, we have the intellectual property issues under copyright. Okay, copyrights give ownership to original works of authorship, and in such as literary works and paintings and video games. Okay, in US, copyright registered for the life of the author plus 70 years. Okay, so the registered for the life and plus 70 years. This is for copyright in US. And then copyrights extend to other countries if they are part of an international copyright treaty, so convention or organization. So means here, let's say that country don't have the not taking part in international copyright treaty, so that country not use the copyright intellectual property. Okay, and this is the example of the paintings and video games, right? And at the same time, if you watch the movie, if you notice after the movie finished, they come up with the C in the circle. Did you notice about that, guys?
Is it the small C?
Yes, small C
Yeah.
in the circle. You notice, right?
Yes,
Aina?
sir.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So that's mean a copyright. Okay, let's say for the movie, sometimes music, okay, they have the copyright. So let's say if you use that movie and then you show to other program and then you make money, for example, without any permission from that company produce that video or movie, they can sue you. So please beware about this because they already patent it, okay, in terms of the copyright. Normally in terms of the literary works, because this is not products, okay, they're more something like movie, and then the games, the application, for example, okay, some of the company they already copyright about the apps and so on. So please never ever use simplify use it that one to make a profit, okay. If not, they can sue you. Okay, guys, that's a copyright. If you notice, just C in the circle. That's a copyright means. Okay? Okay,
Okay,
guys?
sir. Okay,
All
sir.
right. Okay. Okay, next, we have the trade secret. Okay, trade secret also one under intellectual property issues. And the trade secret are information that companies keep secret, okay, to give them an advantage over their competitors. So an example of the under trade secret is KFC. So they have their own ingredient under the what we call it, the Kentucky Fried Chicken things. Okay, they have the trade secret. So not actually, for your information, the trade secret is not protected in the same way as trademark or patents, but must be guarded by non-disclosure and confidentially agreements initiated by the global marketer. Okay, unfortunately, lack of formal protection means that a third party can duplicate and use secret information if revealed. Okay, revealed. So mean here the trade secret something like the ingredient, especially in the food and so on. So sometimes they are not really protected, but must keep it very guided by non-disclosure and confidentially. Okay, if not, if other things know about the secret, sorry to say, they can duplicate and some way that use the secret and so on, and then you can sue that things that organization or that person. Okay, guys, this is about the trade secret. Any question so far?
No.
Yes, a bit. Okay, no, eh? All right. Next, we have the trade regulation. Okay, okay, the last slide, yeah, we just finished about the what we call it, the IP. Okay, IP issues or intellectual property issues. So now we have the trade regulation. So start from 1947 until 1994, we have GATT. Okay, GATT codified rules for trade liberalization. Okay, GATT stand for, this one you learn from the international management. Guys, GATT. Guys,
General agreement.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Something.
okay, general agreement.
Tariff and trade.
Yes, tariff and trade. That's GATT. Okay, so GATT codified rules for trade liberalization. So this is based on the trade. That's why in certain country they have the same tariff and so on. Okay, if you are member under GATT, for example, you no need to pay any tariff. Okay, but if you're not a member, you must pay for the tariff. Okay, so this is trade regulation under trade. Okay, under certain place or under certain country. And then start from 1995, formation of the World Trade Organization or WTO, a forum for governments to negotiate trade and then negotiate trade agreements and to settle trade disputes. And then approximately 150 nations are member of the WTO. And then 75% are developing countries. So Malaysia is one of the example country under WTO. Okay. So we can use the forum to discuss about the try to negotiate. They can try to discuss about the any trade in terms of their members, country members, and so on. So this is interesting about the WTO. So only members can get the benefit. So non-members, sorry to say, you can't get anything from this kind of the trade regulation. All right, okay. Next, we have the NAFTA. After what else? We have um, OIC. OIC only for Muslim countries. And then what else?
NATO.
Yeah, NATO, Mercosur. Okay, or
Is
BRIC.
ASEAN also, sir?
Yeah, ASEAN.
ASEAN.
Yes. So ASEAN, only the ASEAN country members, yes, can get the benefit and so on.
What
Same
is
goes.
EU,
Yeah.
sir?
Pardon?
EU.
Okay, EU, that's more to region. More to region like EU, European Union, and then we have the we have the Middle East. Okay, Middle East is same like the EU, so this is not the under trade regulation. Okay, Adila.
Okay, sir.
All right, that's different things. Okay. So this is to give the example for the gut trade rounds. Okay, we have the start from the 1947 Geneva. They have this subject covered only for tariff, and then the countries during that time only 23 countries. And then start from 1949, the place of the forum in NEC. The subject covered tariff, same until in 1961. Okay, so if you look at here, the countries from 1947 is 23, and then 1949, 13, and then 1951, 38, and then 1956, 26 country, and 1961 also the 26 country. So after that, start from 1964 until 1967, they have the covered in terms of the tariff and anti-dumping measures. So from here, if you look at here, the countries become more, 62 countries. So start from 1973 until 1979, they covered their more worldwide, okay, tariff, non-tariff, measure, framework agreement, and so on. So this during this time, the country's members is around 102. And then 1986 until 1994, these covered around about the tariff, non-tariff measure, rules, services, intellectual property, dispute settlement, textile, agriculture, creation of WTO and others, and etc. So they have the countries around 123. So they become more members. Okay. And then 2001, Doha, Qatar. Okay, this is one of the place of our international student. Is it Halima? Okay. So needs of developing countries, non-tariff, and then barriers, agriculture and industrial tariff. So these are the data during 2009. So I think right now the latest the data is become more members in terms of this one, and of course the cover also become worldwide. Okay. And then the next one, we have the resolution of trade disputes. Okay, disputes can arise between private parties such as businesses, between two countries, or between an individual and a country. And then three ways to settle a dispute is litigation through a court, arbitration, and mediation. So litigation can be costly and time consuming, and then arbitration or mediation are preferable. So what are the arbitration and mediation? Okay, arbitration is dispute is submitted by the parties to one or more arbitrators whose decision is binding. Okay, so means here if you use the arbitration, they are more to like decision you just binding, so they have the black and white. This is arbitration. So the advantages by using the arbitration is enforceability, confidentially technical expertise of the arbitrators, and usually less expensive than litigation. Okay, for the mediation, a non-binding process where two parties agree on a mediator who tries to guide them to a satisfactory settlement of the disputes. So during this time for the mediation, they not use any binding process. Okay, they are use something like communication. Okay, just between both parties and so on. So sometimes it's very dangerous, okay, because of the mediation. So the advantages of the mediation is used when parties hope to preserve or renew their commercial relationship, and then takes less time. They are very simple way how to do a mediation. Okay, so next we have the marketing mix regulation product standard. Okay, a key concern for global marketers is the presence of different product regulation and standard on global and national levels. So multinational manufacturers must adapt a product strategy when necessary to meet standard. So product planning challenges is product must meet standard in each target country, and then how does a company efficiently and cost effectively accomplish these tasks? And then do the standard represent an achievable goal, or will conformance cause an undue hardship to manufacturers and customers? So the example based on this standard, normally we use the ISO. The ISO, the International Organization for Standardization, develop international product standard. So we have the ISO 2005, 2001, and so on. Even in UniKL also we have the ISO. Okay, in terms of the academic things. Okay, did you notice about this, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is about the product standard, and normally we use the ISO. Okay, normally, if they have the ISO, normally all the system become they use the same system, and then they use the same what we call it. The standard is the same. Even you are in Malaysia, or maybe you are in other country, they use the same standard and so on. This is about the ISO or product standard. Okay, next we have the marketing mix regulation in terms of the communication. So advertising regulation are nationally and locally determined. And then we have the cyber law. Okay, cyber law difficulties in the regulation of cyberspace. A single transmission may involve regulation in 3 countries, and then the regulation of the countries of the country in which the recipient resides, and the regulation of the country where the server is located, and the regulation of the country in which the transaction takes place. Okay, so these are the about the cyber law in terms of the regulation of the cyber space. Okay, next we have the political risk. The probability that a set of unwanted events may occur. Unwanted events are those that can impact upon a firm performance to the extent that they threaten the firm's values. And then firm-specific risks are directed at a particular company. This is based on the macro, the small one. And then country-specific risks impact all firms in a given industry. So this one is more to worldwide or big one, macro. So the assessing political risk is important if the company has high ratios of international to domestic revenues, and then significant amounts of capital invested abroad, and then dependence on a global supply chain, and a significant concentration of assets or operation in a single region or country. So dependence on international growth. So these are about the political risk. And then the next one, these are the categories of political risk. If you look at here, we have the firm-specific risk and country-specific risk. For the firm-specific risk, for the government risk, discriminatory regulation, and then creeping expropriation, and then breach of contract. So this is the risk for the government. But for the instability risk, become a sabotage, for example. Let's say if we have the campaign, for example, we try to sabotage about this kind of the product from that organization. So sometimes it become a political risk. And then kidnappings, and then firm-specific boycotts. Okay, this is another thing. Sabotage or boycott is something like more to equal. Okay, and then the next one, country-specific risk. For the government risk, mass nationalization, regulatory changes, and currency inconvertibility. For the stability risk, mass labor strike. Okay, labor strike is the strike actually the words or the terms under international human resource management actually for your information. Strike some like you have the PCAT. Okay, PCAT. You don't want to work, and then at the same time you try to have the what we call it, the by using paper, or maybe the what we call it, the that one, by using the uses something like words to make sure your top management or your boss know about what are your dissatisfaction about you. Okay, this is mass labor strike. This is happened for the instability risk, and then urban rioting, and then civil war. Okay, this is the risk happen under political. Okay, next. Okay, this is quantitative assessment of political risk. You can look from here, Denmark and Cuba. And then the next one, we have the terrorism. Okay, terrorism poses both direct and indirect threats to the operation of the firm. So market imperfection increases transaction costs and then create barriers to the free flow of goods, and then generate negative perceptions of the country market by potential partners and consumers, and then consequently reduce the total volume of trade. And then three components of terrorism risk is about threat to a target. Okay, you have the target to track, to do a threat, and then target vulnerability, and the last one is consequences of successful attack. Okay, this is happen under terrorism. And then the public perception. Okay, this is under another, what we call it, the first impression. Okay, the perception about the certain things. Okay, if you look at here, based on this graph, what we call it, this picture, safer they are much, okay, rather than for this somewhat 19%, more dangerous they are very much, rather than somewhat 72%. Okay, you can look at from here. This is about the perception. Sometimes the perception is sometimes is wrong. Okay, sometimes is yes, correct. Okay, so far any question, guys? Guys,
No, sir.
no question. Okay, I proceed to the next slide. How to manage or managing the political risk. So why political risk cannot be eliminated? It can in some cases be reduced. So insurance against some political risk is offered by both governmental and private agencies. So some of the company insurance provide about this one, about the political risk happen. So you must take the insurance, okay? And then share ownership with host country national. So to make sure you can manage the best political risk, you must share the ownership, maybe 50-50 or 50-60, 60-40, and so on, in terms of the your company with the host country nation. So maybe some happen for the political risk for that host country. So you can what we call it, you can you're not a really what we call it, failure in the market, because you have the share ownership. Okay, if that this kind of happen, this kind of cases happen. And then participating in community projects such as promoting social welfare and rural development projects. So these are the way how to manage the political risk. And then these are the summary. Okay, so far any question, guys?
No, sir.
So far, no.
No question, yeah? What about the
So
rest?
far so good, sir.
No, sir.
Alhamdulillah. So no question, sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So if no questions, so that's all for today. So Alhamdulillah, I'm finished before 2:30. Okay, as I promised. So for you guys, please take care of yourself, because of the COVID-19 become most part right now, most part cases. So please take care of yourself, please take care of your family, and please stay healthy. Okay, guys. See you on next week, inshallah, on Monday, 12 to 3 p.m. Okay, guys.
Thank you, sir.
You're most
Thank
welcome.
Thank you,
Uh,
sir.
so
You are most welcome.
Take care,
Waalaikumsalam
sir.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. You too, guys.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
for
sir.
the
All right. You're most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
You are most welcome.